And we are continuing with the project of Likkutei Sichois. We're going to learn a Sicha today in Parshas Chelek Parshas Shmois, and it says that it's Sicha, the fifth Sicha of Parshas Shmois in Likkutei Sichois, and also the subtitle of, we'll call it like this, is Teves, and it's in Chelek. Very, very interesting in Geschmack Sicha, and the most important thing is two things that we see in the Sicha, what the Rebbe brings out in the first page, in the second page already, what it means Anosi Israel, and about the Stalkus of the Alter Rebbe that it was Motzei Shabbos, and the Gemara says that Motzei Shabbos is Erev Shabbos is Simen Toivloi, and Motzei Shabbos is Simen Raloi. The main thing is the Rebbe is looking for a kasher, a connection between Chavdalah Teves and Parshas Shmois. As the famous shalom the Rebbe always brings down, that the Rebbe shalom that it says that every parsha, and it comes up Chanukah, always Vayeshev Miketz, we have to find something in Vayeshev. And the Rebbe is going to bring a connection between Shmois and the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbe is going to say, this shaylas on it, that we can't use it. And the Rebbe is going to be Mechadish, Chidush Niflo, what means Shmois, and the connection between Alter Rebbe and Shmois. Main thing is the limud, the Rebbe, the Oiroy that the Rebbe brings out from that, what we have to learn, and again, almost like last week in the same line, how to live in Golos, higher than Golos. Okay, we're going to start. Ois Aleph, der Tzemach Tzedek schreibt, wegen der Stalkes von alten Rebben, noch was schreiben, Bekitzer, die Tiltulim, was der alte Rebbe durchgemacht, antläufendig von den Zarfatim, bis zu sein Onkommen in Dorf, Piene, Erev Shabbos, Vaish, nach Tov Kosayin Gimel. Everybody knows that the Alter Rebbe with the other Gdoil Israel had a dispute, or to say argument, who should win? The Gdoil Israel said that Napoleon should win, Zarfatim, and the Alter Rebbe said that Rusland should win, and the Alter Rebbe ran away, although he knew that because of Rosh Hashanah, the story with the Shofar, he knew, everybody knows the story, that he knew that Rusland is going to win, but he knew that in the meantime, Napoleon is going to come in, and even for these few days that Napoleon is going to be ruling, he didn't want to be under his ruling, so he ran away from him with 60 wagons, and he sent back to take away even to find the sleepers and burn the house, that he shouldn't have anything from the Alter Rebbe, they should give him koyach. So the Alter Rebbe, so the Tzemach Tzedek writes about it, that all the Tiltulim and the running with the 60 wagons until they came, and they didn't have where to stay. The Alter Rebbe stayed in a house of somebody, a goy. In Kvar Piene, it was, the Stalkus was in a house of somebody that they rented out a room, or what, maybe together with the Tzemach Tzedek, with the Mital Rebbe, but it was a terrible thing, this running away. And also on the story that why the Alter Rebbe passed away so early, because of the mistake where to go, the Alter Rebbe didn't answer the Einikel Reb Nochem, the Middle Rebbe's son. By every intersection, he used to stop and ask the Alter Rebbe where to go. One time they came to an intersection, and the Alter Rebbe was open eyes, and he was not here. He asked Zaydi, where do we go? He didn't answer him. A second time, then he said, we're running, we have to run. So he went straight or right, and the Alter Rebbe woke up. He said, who's the guy? They told him we went to right. He said, and this is what caused the Stalkus, and also the Emshech of the story, very interesting. It's Chavdalah Teves, a little bit about the Alter Rebbe also, that when the Rebbe Maharash lost his son, and he's buried in the same oil of the Tzemach Tzedek. So, and that Rebbe Maharash was very heartbroken, and the Tzemach Tzedek wrote him a tzevah, and he told him, why are you so in such a situation? He came to finish up the time that the Alter Rebbe was supposed to leave, and he passed away because of this story. And it says on a 7-year-old boy, it says, Agoyen HaMekubel, unbelievable words that the Tzemach Tzedek wrote on this matzevah of the Rebbe Maharash's son. Anybody remembers his name? It came out of my mind now. Rom Sender, yes. And everybody could see the picture of the matzevah. It's unbelievable. And also, if you're saying already some interesting things about the Verbringen, so it's interesting that in this oil is the Tzemach Tzedek, and next to him is the Rebbe Maharash, and across is only there is this boy Avram Sender, and also across from the Tzemach Tzedek is the oldest son of the Tzemach Tzedek, that this is the Rebbe Zayde, and the Rebbe Maharash is the Rebbetzin Zayde. Very interesting. Nobody else. Only they are in the same. Even the Tzemach Tzedek's Rebbetzin is not in there. She's outside by the window. By the Tzemach Tzedek's kever, there's a window, and she's outside of this window. Anyway, so very interesting about the Alter Rebbe running away from there, and then he's finishing up quotation from the Tzemach Tzedek. B'moitzoi Shabbos Kodesh Shmois. Chav Gimel Oil Chav Gimel Shabbos was Chav Gimel Teves. Oil Chavdalah Teves. Sunday was Chavdalah Teves. Kachatzoi Shor Yudalev. 11:30 at night, Nishbo Aroin HaKodesh, Moir Yisrael, Mashiach Hashem v'chulo. Okay. Says Yadua, as alle Moyad Hashona v'yishlem shal derech zorich me'et tzadikim, b'meile, we learn a little first in the Yiddish, and then the English will explain what it is, but it's not important to have it in a double. Says Yadua, as alle Moyad Hashona v'yishlem shal derech zorich me'et tzadikim, b'meile ich me'eledes, u'me'ilule von tzadikim. In footnote number 4, Reish Shalot, Chelek Teves B'ksav Parshas Vayeshev, that he brings there that anything that it comes out in this week, when it comes Shvuos, Shvuos is, let's say, Tuesday. And there's on a Tuesday, there is a parsha of this week. What's the connection with the parsha which was? We must find a connection. Purim has his parsha, Pesach has his parsha, everything. And the Rebbe is adding on something else, very interesting, the first time that I see it. Have to be something, find in the parsha a connection with this thing. Ob mashtaches from Teuchum von der Parsha, in Teure was Melein Demol. Weil derach there, is euch verstandig von der Teure was vor. The Rebbe is adding on something more. We see that the word of the Alter Rebbe came in once to Shul, and all the Chassidim came, and the Alter Rebbe said, one, before Peterburg and after Peterburg, so he said a short word, he says, mit auf Leben mit der Zeit, you have to live with the time. So the Alter Rebbe left, so they didn't know what he wants, so they sent him a reel. He went into the Alter Rebbe next what he said, mit auf Leben mit der Zeit, mit der Parshas HaShavua. So if I have to live with the Parshas HaShavua, I must find a connection between Chovdale Teves and the Parshas Shmois. The Rebbe is finishing up, Obinyoneinu. Agam, as this Talkus and Alten Rebbe is given oil of Dale Teves, and in the calendar, as we counted from Shkia, from Tzeisak Kechovim, is already Chovdale. We see something very interesting in the Tzemach Tzedek is hinting something here, is hiding something here, is telling us something here that we have to learn. He said, if the Rebbe says, he died in Chovdale Teves. Was ist euch gefallen in Yom Aleph, wenn es already Parshas Vayero. And by Mincha Shabbos, we already learned in Shul Parshas Vayero. Der wunderbar was dazu macht Tzedek und sich nicht begnügend mit uns sich in dem bloß dem Zman von Eulich und alles. He didn't satisfy himself with writing just Chovdale Teves. And not even, he wasn't satisfied even to write, to sein der Tag von der Woche. Right? Writing was Shabbos Kodesh. No, but he was not satisfied and he had done something very interesting and something puzzling. Nor geht euch zu, als es gewähnt bei Motze Shabbos Kodesh, des Shmois. Und noch mehr, not only enough that it was Shabbos Kodesh Shmois, as dazu noch Moise was Shabbos Kodesh Shmois is gewähnt, of Gimel Teves. He wants to tell us something here about Shabbos Shmois and Chov Gimel Shabbos Shmois. That's why he's adding on Chov Gimel Teves also. There's nothing about Chov Gimel. There's only about something about Parshas Shmois. But the addition that he puts on Chov Gimel Teves is to emphasize that it was in Parshas Shmois and Shabbos. Ist der Fund verstandig, als die Talkus tot Ashtayches euch ubeiker zu Parshas Shmois. Why is beiker? So the Rebbe says in footnote 11, Sharei Ve'ero in Musker. It doesn't mention Ve'ero. So must be that's what to say. And in footnote number 12, and Parshas Shmois, the Shabbos Shayches Gam L'Shavua, Bokim and Emis Bochim Kol Yoyim. The Zohar says there's two components of Shabbos. Shabbos is Aliyah, Vayichulu, Kiloyen, from all the work from the whole week. And if there was a Yontef and you didn't do Chlotes Teves and everything for the Yontef, so you could do it on Shabbos. And Shabbos and Emis Bochim Kol Yoyim. So that's the Shayches to Shabbos. Befrat, the Rebbe is adding on even something more. As the Genoyas Mana as Talkus is given, wie der Tzemach Tzedek schreibt, Kachatzoi Show Dalef, I think it's, everybody would agree, it's 11:30, no?
10:30. Half of the 11th hour.
Huh?
Half of the 11th hour.
10:30.
10:30.
Okay.
Immediately, so on help.
Okay, so when I learned in the Yiddish, in the Lashon Kodesh, I said 11:30, so we'll fix it up now, it's 10:30. Okay. Kachatzoi Show Dalef. was benegea kamadinim ve'inyonim, ob doch kiyudua die Shoes von Shabbos Kodesh v'chatzos halala Sheichus Shabbos, ist es bemeile a bazunder Beweis auf der Sheichus von der Ristalkus zu Parshas Shmois dafke visti, that the Ristalkus was before Chatzos we still have the Yonim of Shabbos. One thing that we remember, we say Krishma Shalamit, or we say with Artachnon and everything. So the Rebbe is saying we have to find a connection between Shmois and and this something. Okay, we're going to go back and learn a little bit, not the whole thing, but a little bit of footnote number 8. Although there is a lot of Shulei Agilion in the bottom, I think 4 times. Yeah, 4 times Shulei Agilion. We're going to learn just as I said before to bring out what means the Rebbe and what the Rebbe is lechoire testifying about himself also, because the Stalkus of Gimel Tammuz was also Motzei Shabbos Kodesh. The Rebbe is interesting what he brings out here. Ve'yishlem atama isofe ubeagdim tmiyeh. Why is there Tzemach Tzedek adding on that was Motzei Shabbos Kodesh? Arei lechoire arei ze ad goshe legriuste. He shows me something that it's not a mile, it's a chesron. At the Maimar Razal Kshuves Kuf Gimel Lamed Beis, Meis be'erev Shabbos Simen Yofeloi, beMotzei Shabbos Simen Raloi. So why do you have to mention it? Don't mention Motzei Shabbos. It was Motzei Shabbos, but don't mention it. Hadiuk was a very geschmack. Be'erev Shabbos simen yofe loy. That's not Goshe. The Gemara doesn't say meis be'erev Shabbos simen yofe loy. What does it mean? Because the Pirush Rashi, why is it loy? Shekonas lemenucha miyad. He comes erev Shabbos, this Talkus, is right away goes into Gan Eden. There's no Gehenim there, and everything is there. So shekonas lemenucha miyad. אבל עבור צוין מריסוי, now the Rebbe is letting God, אבל עבור צוין מריסוי של נוס ישראל, הרי עד הרבי מגיעים שבייס ציר הצדיק העליון. Der alte Rebbe in Geras HaKodesh Chof Zayin and Chof Ches, he's saying, you eis rotzen, aber es gale meir b'bchinas gilu milemailo lemato. It says, it gets collected. Everything that he did is shining and lighting at this time of this Talkus, and it's soile lemailo, then it's yored lemato, and the Rebbe is adding on, shemeir chesed Hashem oilom adoilom adirev, poil Yeshua is bekerev ha'oretz. By this time of this Talkus, it's poil Yeshua is bekerev ha'oretz. לכן, דווקא במוצאי שבת, כשמתחילו עבודת מויס החול בקרב הארץ, זקוקים ביועץ על השפול בגלל זה. Der alte Rebbe and the Rabbeim, the Talkus that there is in Motzei Shabbos, a ganz arichas about Rabbeinu HaKodesh in Gemara, we're not going to go into it. But we see that when it comes Motzei Shabbos, the Rebbe said again in the hour later, that when it comes Motzei Shabbos, we see that it's number one, after Shabbos, you have to go down to mundane days, it's not so easy. Number two, we see that you have to have psomim to get, because of the stalkus of the Neshama Yisera. So the Rabbi is setting up, we say, Al Tira Avli Yaakov. So this is what the Rabbeim are doing. They're giving away their Indian from Meis Be'erev Shabbos is Simen Yofeloi. He's giving it away because of the Chassidim of Tzvein Marisoi, that it's much better for them. It should be, and the Rabbi is setting up, finishing up there. Nichalem Yoisa Sham Motzei Shabbos Shel Tzvein Marisom Iye Betachlis Oilui, Masher Oilui Shelohem. If they put away their Ilui. We're going to go back to page number 1 on the bottom, in one of the footnote in the Shula Gilyon number 2 on the last 3 lines. There's the 7 Torahs that the Rebbe Rashab heard in Tov Rishon and Beis from the Baal Shem Tov, and it says the finishing, one of them is at Atem Nesiya Yisrael, was Chelek Taveka Yer Torah V'Avodo, B'shul Teves Sorabim. And the time that they could do, learn and daven, and just to mention something very interesting that, also to add on that the shir should be Leilu Nishmas, my mother. Punkt today was Yortzeit of my mother. Peshalei Bazot Chaim Yudelev. Usually we don't do it, but the shir comes out mamish in the theme of the leaders. Shabbos I wanted to have maftir in the Rebbe's room as a schus for my mother. So I called and they told me that it's already taken. I called too late. 2 weeks before the Yortzeit, it's already too late. Somebody got it. So I ordered maftir in the Zal. And Gabe there is his nephew. Yes? Reichik, Loza Reichik is the Gabe, so he told me you could come have maftir, but remember, here we have to pay, there's no maftir bechinam. And it cost $180. Anyway, so I dumped in the Rebbe's room because they davened late. I had Chris Ater in the Rebbe's room, then I went to the Zal to have maftir there. So I found this, Likras Shabbos, and I looked at it. And connected to this hour, that it's just unbelievable. I'm telling you, I came Sunday in my shul, and I looked for it. It was already in the Gnize, and I brought it here, and I put it away to bring it here. There's an old page of Parnose V'Chalkole, but they asked the Rebbe. The Rebbe could sit and write more Likkutei Sichois, prepare more Sichois, learning and davening. What is the Rebbe busy with? I'll just going to take one quote. Rechishas buying a car. The Rebbe is saying like this: in answer to your letter, that you're asking me if it pays, if it's good to buy an automobile, to buy a car for himself. The Rebbe says, in general, it's kedai to buy a car. But be careful, 2 things. Number 1, don't buy a car to take out other people's eyes. I don't know how to say it in English. In Lashon Kodesh is loitzis so inayim, and the Rebbe writes in Yiddish. Nicht aufreißen die Augen. Not everybody should say in Kranais, look, you got a car, you got a new car, get another car. From the other side, don't buy an old car, a very old car. As it writes in his letter that he wants to buy it. And the Rebbe says, what Leidor Gise, he doesn't have to buy a car, Davke from the newest model, 1953. It was in 1953. And the Rebbe doesn't write in Tovshin Yud Beis. The Rebbe writes in 1950. You don't have to, because they don't know about Tovshin Yud Beis. They don't, the model is 1953. So this is what the Rebbe is busy with, and all that, other things. To buy a house, not to buy a house, to buy this machine for my factory, or this machine for my factory. This is what the Rebbe says here. Mamish, I'll read it one more time. Atem Nesiya Yisrael, you put away all your Torah and Avodah. And what is that for Teves Sorabim? So now we understand the idea of this Talkus in Motzei Shabbos. Now the Rebbe is testifying about himself. How do I know? I mean, give me a, please. I need it for.
Drink?
Yeah, please. Otherwise, it's going to keep beeping. Yeah. Anyway, how do we know? We know everybody knows the Sicha. I wouldn't allow myself to do it, but it's Chavdala Teves, so usually we don't do it. So many side tracks. ברוך אתה אדינו אלוהינו מלך העולם שהקלני בדברי. Yeah. Interesting that the Rebbe says by Fabrengen, the Rebbe mentioned the story that Elika Barditchever said that he's not going to go into Gan Eden until Moshiach comes. He came to Gan Eden, the Rebbe says, it's not the time yet for Moshiach, what do? We can't leave the Barditchever outside. So they opened up the window of Gan Eden, and he heard the Malachim saying, Kodesh, Kodesh, so he jumped into Gan Eden. And the Rebbe says something unbelievable. The Rebbe says, the Friedrich Rebbe told the story, and he knew the eight said that the Rebbe did, so obviously he's not going to let fool him and open the door and he should jump in. And obviously the Rebbe testified about himself also. They didn't know about it and he's not going to do it. I don't know what that means. But here we see the same thing. The Rebbe is writing so much about Motzei Shabbos and Motzei Shabbos and Motzei Shabbos. The Gimel Tammuz was Motzei Shabbos, and the Gemara says that Erev Shabbos is Siman Tovloi. I don't want to mention the other side, what it says in the Gemara. Okay, to understand this, what is the connection between Shmois and Chavdala Teves? We're going to start in Nois base. The Teuchum from Parshas Shmois is Golus V'Shibud Mitzrayim. The Rebbe is going to very interesting divide. Shmois is one parsha, Vayigash Vayechi is one story, and Vo'ero and Boy is another story. So we have three things. Vayigash Vayechi is the union of Mitzrayim before Golus. Shmois is only Golus, and Vo'ero and Boy is already Geula. Let's see, the Rebbe is dividing it. In the Parshas was Parshas Shmois, Vayigash Vayechi, redt wegen dem Zman vom Shibud Mitzrayim, bevor Shibud Mitzrayim. Agam schon gewend die Ride Mitzrayim. Kmai Marazal, kol Zman shoyechet beim Kayem, da shibdu am Mitzrayim beIsrael. And we learned already last week that Levi was the last one that he passed away, and as long as one of the Shvotim was there was no Golus. Leidoch, in the Parshas was noch Shmois, Parshas Vo'ero Boy, Agam azoichen zei wird gerett wegen der Tkufas Shibud von Ride Mitzrayim. It's still Golus. Und deswegen sehen sich schon on im Parshas Vo'ero die Zeichens of dem Oni von der Geule. In Parshas Vo'ero we see already the seeds of the Geule. We see the markers and everything. The Oishim Shemoyim was the Rebbe dort by in the markers was gebracht auf die Mitzrayim. We see all the markers. In Boy is the Rachelik of the Matas, in Vo'ero and in Boy. Euch das Shibud Guf ist dann geworden geringer. It's brought down that by every marker the Mitzrayim was already a little less in the Shibud. And we have even more, und noch mehr. Chazal sagen, as Rosh Hashanah botla voiduma v'shene b'Mitzrayim. They came out of Mitzrayim Tezvov Nissen. In Rosh Hashanah 6 months before, finished, no more Shibud. So we see that we have already not only the seeds, we have already mamish a part of the Geule, the markers and Baruch Hashem, they didn't work anymore. Und Allah has come in Parshas Boy. Boy is even more than Vo'ero, but this wird schon erzählt wegen der Geule, Poel mamish that didn't came out of Mitzrayim. This is all Vayigash Vayechi and Vo'ero and Boy. Der Kegen from the other side in Parshas Shmois was that wo der Teuchel von der ganzen Sedre besteht von Protim in dem Geutel der Kodesh HaShibud. Everything is about Kodesh HaShibud. Bis, unbelievable, bis zum Erzählen in Sof von der Sedre, als Paro hat Goyzer gewinnt, Loish Shifun Losses, ich shouldn't give him Teven, Tirba da Avoida Lanoshim, bis afile Moshe Rabbeinu hat geteinet zum Eibers, meos Bosel Paro, Lom Hazeh. So not only we have the Shibud in all Parshas Shmois, but by the end of Parshas Shmois is even much more the Avoida, that they didn't give him how to make the bricks. They have to go and look. And Moshe Rabbeinu already complained to the Eibishter. You sent me and you made him even worse. And damit, now the Rabbi said we could explain very simple connection between Shmois and Chavdala Teves. Und damit können wir beweisen, bederich Efshar die Shachas von der Stalkus und alten Reben zu Parshas Shmois. And I will understand why the Tzemach Tzedek is not mentioning Vo'ero, mentioning Chav Gimel, mentioning Shabbos Parshas Shmois. Why? Wie der Mond früher ist die Stalkus und alten Reben gewähnt, bei Eisten gefunden sich in Golus. In Vo'ero is already not Golus. Vo'ero is already a part of the Geule. They stopped working so hard, and there was the markets already. We see already the Geule, and the Alter Rebbe passed away in Mamish in Golus. Kolosh nach Tzemach Tzedek, כשבורחו מצרפת, wo metultel hat Bioson lepiene. He was driving and going till he came to Kfar Piene. Und wie die alle Brote hat Titel bei Yisurim werden beschrieben in a brief von Mittel Rebbe. So we understand, but the connection is very simple. We're talking Shmois, we're talking about Golus. The Alter Rebbe passed away in Golus. Ois Gimel. Sie du was der Balai schreibt wegen dem Ingen von Lule wie Stalkus, als demol mentioned at the beginning of the Sicha, als demol seine neue le Milo kol Maisov, vetoyrotsoy va vodosa shrovat kol Michael. It's lights and it's shining all the things that he did in his life is then. Und das wird misgale und mehr beprinas gilu le Milo le Mato, based Tirosoi. As we said before, it's Poel Yeshuis bekerev Oretz. It's oile le Milo and it comes down le Mato till bekerev Oretz. Bald as jeder Kshenish is doch Mashgoche Protis. Und Alachas kama wo kama Sach was passiert mit der Tzadik und Nosei Adoyer. Everything is Mashgoche Protis. And we're talking about Nosei Adoyer. Is davon verstandig, das was der Malten Rebens Stalkus is given in Golus. We have to understand that because this Stalkus was in Golus, is das aber weiß auf dem Kesher Pnimis die Steiches zwischen Mainz und der Rotsoi, war das von Balale. When was collective of all his work that he did all his life? When he passed away. Where did he pass away? In Golus. So I see that that's a Sheiches zu Golus. Very interesting, very Geschmack. Welche seinen Eule Misgale mehr bis die Stalkus, wenn mit der Meile von der Avoid ins Mana Golus Davke. It's going to show us something that it has to do. Der alte Rabbi is showing us here the union of the Avoid of Zman Agolus Davke. Und davon ist euch nicht Stalkus geworden, ein Gastgemäß, dass seine Stalkus ist gewähnt, in Golus Kipschutai. Die Schleimer, das ist der Tam, der Rabbi is letting on something else that we see, something very interesting, what happened that he passed away Davke in Golus. Die Schleimer, das ist der Tam, was der letzte Chagagule von Yitzchak Kislev, was der alte Rebbe hat gepravet bechaim Chayusi Baal Medein, ist gewähnt in dem Golusot von seines Stalkus. Warum wie der Mond früher die Reste nach Chelek, ist Bioson Lepiene, gewähnt Shabbos bei Ishtach, was das ist gewähnt von Yitzchak Kislev. We'll understand also the connection that is less Yitzchak Kislev, that he lived, where was it? Davke in Golus. Just learning footnote 24 because it's interesting. It's all Chiyun, the Rishimis Koik Lukas Moy B'chom Yadmu, the Friedrich Rebbe writes in his Rishimis, the Baal Likvar Piene, V'yoyim Ashlish Niches Teves, it was already after Yitzchak Kislev. The Rebbe wants to bring out here that Yitzchak Kislev, that this is, the Rebbe is going to bring out that this is the main point of the Alter Rebbe's life. Is Yitzchak Kislev, it became Rosh Hashanah Chassidus, and before Peterburg and after Peterburg, and in jail when he was, the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid came to visit them, and we know that they came to visit them, Mamish Beguf, as the Rebbe Rashab asked the Friedrich Rebbe, if there was room in this cell for 3 people, and so the Choyred was before. So the Rebbe says 2 answers. Number 1, Tosamatic, whoever was how do you call it, writing, copying the Friedrich Rebbe's regime and printing it, he made a mistake, or the Rebbe says something else. Al Koponim, it was not in Liadi already. It was on the way there. So it was in Golus, and it was in Tilkel and all the other things. What is the Maile? What is the advantage here? What does it show me that is less Yitzchak Kislev was in Golus? So the Rebbe is explaining. Warum about Yitzchak Kislev the Rosh Hashanah Lechsidus? The Rebbe was saying innovated that Rosh Hashanah Lechsidus and we say Lishon Toivot because of his Chosim, Bedark Chsidus, Belimud Chsidus, and it's Mamish Rosh Hashanah. We mentioned that also when we learned last time. We mentioned the story with Reb Chaim Moizel from Isaac Grodensky. They came to him and they told him, you heard the story? Ich see the beit, Anu Rosh Hashanah. There's a Mishnah about Rosh Hashanah. What kind of Anu Rosh Hashanah? So I told them, by us it gets less and by them it gets more. Okay. Warum wir bald in Sidus der Rosh Hashanah Lechsidus ist die Nekude at Choyne von Mansa Veterosov Avadosoi von dem so we say when he passed away comes all his life what he did. Where's the main Nekude of the Alter Rebbe's work? Yitzchak Kislev. Was das jetzt verbunden mit Meilas Avoid ins Managolus Kenis Kaloel. Der Fall it comes to show us the Meile of the Avoid in Managolus. Der Fall ist sein letzter Yitzchak Kislev. Was das meint bemeile der echter Ilui von dem Yom Nale mit Kuvas Chayev Balmadein. Gebalt das Bcholshon und schon der mehr Chodesh von Chodesh lo mehr Adaim oil. Der Alter Rebbe is innovating in the Gers na Kodesh Simen Yudalet. Der Alter Rebbe says that every Rosh Hashanah comes down oil. That was in Tovshin Yud Beis or Yud Gimel. Rosh Hashanah by the Verbringen. I think it was Rosh Hashanah by the Verbringen, if not by a different Verbringen in Tishre. The Rebbe said psavot like Lule de Mistafine. But the Rebbe said that. The Rebbe said that it's a little. The Rebbe said that today comes down oil. That not the Alter Rebbe, not the Mittel Rebbe, not the Tzemach Tzedek, not the Rebbe Maharaj, not the Rebbe Rashab, not the Friedrich Rebbe added. The Rebbe gives us oil chodesh that nobody had, and he gives us the schus to have every year a new oil chodesh. It's very interesting. So the Baltas comes up oil chodesh. So the last Yitzchak Kislev was an oil chodesh that was never done. As Rosh Hashanah comes down oil, comes down Yitzchak Kislev oil chodesh. So Memele, where was it? Davke in Golus, given in Golus. Und noch mehr in demselben, and not only according to the Rebbe, according to the Tzemach Tzedek, wo der Reiter des Erev Shabbos Vayishlach, that it was before Yitzchak Kislev, so demselben Golosot, was ist gewesen seines Talkus. That's why he prophet Yitzchak Kislev in the same place. Weil demol stehen alle seine Meister mit der Rosh Lavadose, betachlus Ashleimus, genau. So we have a very geschmacke parallel or whatever to call it between Parshas Shmois and it's our to us the Indian of the Alter Rebbe what is mechadish Chidush of the Alter Rebbe with Chassidus Chabad and after Pedabok and everything is out. We have to serve the Eibishter and the Meile in Avodas HaGolus as we're going to explain in more detail further. Okay. Ois dann, wenn es verstehen, da haben wir wird wahr sein, der Mina genau, as the Teuchung from Parshas Shmois is Golus with Mitzrayim. So we came to establish that the connection between Chavdal Teves and Shmois is the idea of Golus, right? The Rebbe is going to ask now 3 questions to say, how could it be? It's the opposite. How could I say it? So he's going to refute the old Chidush. The Rebbe is going to din mechadish the Chidush niflo, what the connection is. Schon gerät viel mal, als der Name von der Sedre trägt euch mit sich der Inhalt von der ganzen Sedre. Und ist es nicht verstandig in unserer Ringen. If you're telling me the Shmois shows on Golus, the Chavdal Teves shows on Golus, I see the opposite. Das was der Wort Shmois enthalten in sich, ist der Heure, Heper, der Rebbe underline. Heper von der Minion von Golus Mitzrayim. And the Rebbe gives 3 reasons. Why? Because 3 things. Aleph. Chazal sagen wir früher der Mond, als Kolzman schwerech beim Kai Moises Yodel Mitzrayim, leschib der Mitzrayim bei Israel. Kommt doch heus, als der Rehm von Shemes bei Israel, aber Mitzrayim hat Gott nicht erlosen, dem Schimmel von Mitzrayim. Completely opposite. You can't think that the Torah could have said, Veile Aboim Mitzrayim, without mentioning the names. Or without mentioning the word Shemois. Veile Aboim Mitzrayim. The Torah says, no, Veile Shemois. So what is Shemus Mat Gishir? The idea that as long as one of them leaves, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yudah, all the Shemus, is no Golus. And you're telling me that Shmois shows Davkanin of Golus. Base, another question. Euch der Besonder hat Gosche von dem Wort Shemois Gufe. The word Shemois Gufe, das was der Räuberster hat sich noch einmal gezählt, bis Shmois Son, is doch given. You could count without names also. The Räuberster counted with the names. Lo idea Chiboson. Rashi brings down on the Posik, lo idea Chiboson. What means Chiboson? Chiboson is Epech HaGolus. Was ist der Reper von Golus Bekoish, der Stimmung von den Iden, der Gewellach hat erzählt in der Paste. So you're telling me that Shmois in Chavdal Teves are parallel and connection. I see the opposite. And number 3, question number 3, the shame is eine Gol Kemaim HaChazal. All the shame is not only that it shows Chiboson and everything, it's Hashem Geulas Israel. Niskeru kan. The Medrash on this psukim said, why did they mention here the names? Because the Rebbe knows that you're going into Golus, is mentioning already the Geule. And I wrote it down, I looked up the Medrash. Reuven is, it says further, the Rebbe told Moshe Rabbeinu, Roi, Isi Be'onyi, Reu. Shimon is the Loshen Vayishma Elekim, it's not Kost Vayishma. So all the names, we count out all the names, but the connection between Geule and the names. So Rebbeinu Shlem, how could I say that Shmois is showing me at the end of the April of the end of Golus? Oistei. The Rebbe tells no Oistei must sein der Avoide of the meaning from Golus, and then we're going to understand that Shmois has in it the 2 components, Golus and Geula, and it's not a stir, it's not a contradiction. Oistei, Ubi Ureinian. She's Yodua. As Ilu in der Avoide von Zman HaGolus besteht darin, was davke demol wird an Plek der Koyach am Sirus Nefesh von What's the advantage of the Avoide in Golus? When you are in Golus, being revealed, the Mysterious Nefesh of Haid. But them sich from where is coming in Prinas Mysterious Nefesh, from Prinas Kechide Shebe Nefesh, Etzem HaNishoma. So where is the revelation of Etzem HaNishoma? Davke in Golus. Warum der Koyach von Kechide Shebe Nefesh, Etzem HaNishoma, drückt sich heus bei Iker dort in der Matze, wo es fällt der Banem und nergisch in der Likus, und sagt die Koyach sagt Gluim von der Nishoma. When there is a dark, and the Nishoma is not revealed, and everything is not good, and there is a oppression, they don't let you do the mitzvahs and those, then it's being revealed, the Etzem HaNishoma. Ich kaschus bei Likus ist demult nicht, dass durch die Koyach sagt Gluim, nur mit dem Etzem von Haiden. And the Rebbe is going to bring you something very interesting in Geschmack. I mean, Achidush, Lechoyer Achidush Niflo, the difference between Beis HaMikdash, that there was Oiros, Gilui and everything, and Golus. That the Rebbe, as the Anoy and the Gilui from Avoide from Golus, is Davke because then is Etzem HaNishoma. Not the Beis HaMikdash. Very interesting, very Geschmack. Und davor, now we see, in dem Zman, wenn der Beis HaMikdash ist Kayem, und der Likus ist mehr begilui. You come and you see the Asor, Nisim and everything. Is so dicker, Avoide von Iden, gewem mit Koyach sagt, I see a Likus, so I serve the Eibishter. It's a very simple thing. So how do I serve the Eibishter with Koyach sagt, Job the Gerd, they internalized. Likus is born in the Koyach Nim Vigluim for Technomides. Gebald das ist an Avoide shall betam with das Verges. They serve the Eibishter tam with das Verges. Is the Rebbe nicht nirgends mit der Avoide der Koyach für Yechide. It's not Yechide there. It's Giluim. Dav keins man HaGolus. Wenn der Reure Lekis Belen Wester. Und David am Melech sagt, so ist es denen Leureinu, weil Leutonu Yudat Mo. Und es einen da, Lomes Westeren, wenn es die Eines mit der Arbeit mit der Mitzvah. They don't let you, there's a pressure, they don't let you serve the Eibishter. Darf gedan, wenn, weil die Feld die Wirkung von der Gilu, die Koyach HaNishoma, there's no, you don't see nothing. Euch ist denen Leureinu. It's dark. What is then? Wird Nesäure der Koyach von Yichidische Benefesh zu starken sich auf die Schwierigkeiten des Schönes. This is the only way that you could overcome the Schönes. How does it work? Gilu eine Shome, Gilu, the Rebbe uses sehr viele Schönes. Yichidische, Mesiras Nefesh auf Haiden, Yichidische Benefesh, und Etzem eine Shome. Es gibt man bezahlt im Etzem ist Kaschus von Iden zum Oibersch. Und das ist wenn der Riem von Golus Mitzrayim und Golus Bechlal. Now we'll understand what in general, what is Golus Mitzrayim, what is Golus Bechlal. Was Davke durch dem ist gekommen zum Ausdruck der Atzmäßige ist Kaschus von Eden zum Oiberschen. Davke being in Mitzrayim, this is where there was the revelation of Etzem of the Neshome. Und das ist given not only but it's also a preparation zum Matan Teure. Was der Tachlis vom Matan Teure ist zum Mamschach seine Likus in Dvorim Gashmim, weil er seine Tachtoinim und doch Teure müssen sollen euch sehr werden dir Lois Borg, weil Davke in dem bringt sich euch der Etzem von Teure. Very interesting, also very interesting note. That not only that Mitzrayim is a chone to Matan Teuro, because Mitzrayim is the Golus, and there is revealed Etzem Neshome. Teuro himself is also coming to reveal Tachtoinim. Where do we see it? Very simple. What was before Matan Teuro? Yankov Avinu put on Tefillin. How did he do Tefillin? With the Maklois. What happened after that? No connection between Gashmias and Ruchnias. Matan Teuro is Botlo Agzere, Elyoinim Yedu Lemata, Tachtoinim Yadu Lemailo, and the Rebbe says, Vayered Avaya Al Sinai, Vel Moshe Omar, Ale, the connection between Gashmias and Ruchnias comes davke through Matan Teuro. Before Matan Teuro, there was no such thing. Now we take a beime, and either you slaughter or even you shoot her, you could take the parchment, you make the oldest thing that we have, as a Teuro. And tefillin and everything, mezuzahs and everything that you make from them. Oizvov. So we have revealing, Etzem HaTorah is being revealed, Davke Betachtoinim, in the lowest place, and the same thing also, the Etzem HaNeshom is being revealed also Davke in Golus, but there is no light, no Gilui. Oizvov. Der Reuven gesagt der Biur in der Meile von Avoidins Mana Golus, what we learned just before, that the advantage of the walking Golus, as a ganze leicht nicht der Eure Leki begilui, there's no Eure Leki. Und doch wer darf gedemult Nisgale der Etzem HaNeshome, only then is being revealed the Etzem HaNeshome, is merumes in the meaning from Shmois. Now we're going to answer, how come that Shmois, the Eure Shmois is not the meaning of Golus, Shmois is verkehrt. Shmois is the meaning of Geula, Shmois is Chiboston to destroy. What are you telling me, and as long as one of the Shvotim was alive, and we mentioned their names, it's not good. I was going to say that in Shmois we're going to find two separate things, very interesting, opposites one from another, and this is what we have Golus and Geula together. Okay. In der Scheiches von einem Nomen zu Menschen, was trug dem Nomen, gefindt mit zwei Zovis. Der Rebbe brings down that there's two opposites, two extremes in a name. Von einer Seite sagt man, als der Baal Hashem zu lieb sich allein, nötig sich den ganzen nicht in den Nomen. If I live in a desert, I don't need a name. What do I need a name for? Nobody's going to call me. Me nutzt the snow wie a Mittel, das Zweite, also dem können rufen. It's just what's a Mittel? A tool. It's a tool that somebody needs me, he calls me. Das heißt, dass der Nomen ist lechore, blois, an äußerliche Sache berech von Menschen. It's something external from me, because it's not me. If I live in a place that I don't need it, I don't need the name. Und der Fall kämen von einem Nomen, nicht oben kämen bei Grief, in einem Haus von den Menschen. Could we know if somebody's name is Yankel? Could we know that say Yankel? Oh, if Yankel is a nice man, he has good midas. No way. There's thousands of people that are named Yankel. They're opposites from each other. There could be a very smart and could be the opposite from very smart and everything. So I see that name is not revealing anything of a person. Vorreihe es eine Verein mehrere Menschen mit demselben Namen. There's a lot of people with the same name. Beisen sie mehr Hus, können sie sein. Aufrichtig mit einer Kotze la Kotze. Could be very smart, could be very the opposite. Weil das Shem spiegelt nicht ob dem aus von Baal Shem. From the name you know nothing. Nicht wie das ist in einem Indien von euer was spiegelt ob dem Moil und vom Zielst euer kommen ob mal so gehen Moil. It's the opposite from eurem Moil. If you come into a house and you see that there is some light. So even if you don't see where the light is coming from, you could right away see if it's a candle or it's a flashlight or it's a fluorescent. You could see right away, or you could see it's the sun. But the moil, you could have from the oil, you could have a soga in the moil, what the moil is, right? And from a name, you could not. This is from one side a name, nothing to do with you. It's external and everything. The other side, we're going to see that it's connected with your etzem. Und der zweite Seite aber ist ja du als der Namen von einem Menschen und der Scheich zum Etzem Adam. Wer ist sicher von die Koiches der Gluim Sheloi? Ja von die Koiches der Gluim. Wer du bist hier? Der Rabbi is going to tell you what it is. And is der Choche. I have a proof. Der Choche der Ruf. Schas man ruft ein Mensch bei seinem Namen. Gibt sich erwähnt, der Kerl bechol atzmusoi. You call somebody, he's standing by the door and he looks outside and you stay here. You say, Yankel, it turns around with his whole body. It has to do with his whole Etzem. And the Rabbi says even more for us to understand what it means that a name is connected to you. Wenn ein Mensch chalisch, Rachmon el-Islam, when somebody is fainting, was das meint, dass der Chayes dann Nefesh ist in der Matze von Isalmus und ist abgetrunken. He doesn't have enough Chayes now. It's a minute Chayes left. Wer der Mensch der mintert, you wake him up, durch den was man ruft ihn bei seinem Namen. You call him by his name, he wakes up. So I see that the name is bringing down back the Chayes that left him. Was das ist aber weiß, dass der Shem hat der Kesher und Rilton in Etzem Chayes an Nefesh. Und der Pfarrer hat bekocht zum Amstrad dem Chayes zurück in die Kirche Saguf. Is fainted. How do you bring it back? Only through calling his name. Und darin ist da Meile in Shem legabeoir. Now we have an advantage. Before we said the shame doesn't show anything on the person and the oil shows which moil. If we're going to see that shame is an advantage over this. Shame legabeoir. Weil Chotsch von Euer kämen wissen dem Moil. Und deswegen ist Euer nicht Mamschach dem Etzem Moil. A particle of the sun never comes down. The sun is only the rays area. The same thing is here also. By the name, you could call him and you bring his all etzem, not by Euren Moir. Okay. Das heißt, now we're going to understand exactly what's going on with Shmois. Either it's Goles or it's Geule, what is it? Because we know Shmois is the two opposites, the two extremes, we're going to understand it. Das heißt, als der Rätsel von dem Auto trägt sich aus Davke dort, wo es sich nicht kein Gilidike, scheiches zu Menschen. Where do I get his Etzem and Nefesh and wake him up? With something that it's not related to his Etzem, with a name. Bedug me wie gerät früher in dem Meilos Avoide von Zman HaGolus. When is the Avoide von Zman HaGolus? What is it revealing? The Etzem and Nefesh, the same thing here. As the Etzem von Aiden wird, es gale Davke in dem Ellen Wester von Zman HaGolus. Most important thing what the Rebbe brings out is the Avoide, the alte Rebbe wanted to show us, with the Salkus in there, with everything, the Avoide, Mile of Avoide in Golus. And obviously, Golus is not a purpose for itself, to bring the gain of the Geune from there. Oi sein, al pi kol anal is moved der Kesher zwischen Masse und Rosse und Avedosoi von Bala Ilule mit der Parshas Shmois der Rein von Golus. Now we'll understand it. So is yadua, as geshem is do the Bchine Yechide in Nefesh Adam, azoi zech faran, azoi zech faran, Bchine Yechide in Teuro. We have Giluim, and we have Yechide Shebenefesh. And we said before that Teuro and Golus is revealing the Etzem HaNefesh, and Torah is revealing, when it's being Torah revealed, Davke Lebata Betachtoinim, that we take a Tachtonim and elevating him. Now we're going to see it, that in Torah itself is also Yechidah. What is that? Torah is the Chassidus. And the Rikar Gilui from Bchinas Yechidah from Torah is the Chassidus Chabad. Because Chassidus Chabad is bringing down in our understanding with Mesholim from Gashmias to understand the highest levels that there is in Olam Yisrael Yonim. Wie der Bala Ilule hat megalig werden und nach Rob getrogen, Teures Achsidus in Avone und Astoge. Ich brought it down in understanding. Wie gdei durch dem, zu kennen Poel sein, euch heute Nefesh Abamis und Chelke Boilom. Achsidus has to come down in Avone und Astoge. Then it has the effect on the lowest level of the Nefesh Abamis. Bis zum Abruch sein sehr Messias von Akotze la Kotze, weil Davke in dem Trick sich heute der Etzem vom Pnimis Sateure. Etzem Pnimis Sateure is to have the avoid Davke Lemato. Same thing is here also. Das heißt, Hashem hat sich früher gerät bei Menschen. The same as we spoke by a person by himself. As the Galus von Yechide Etzman Shome is Davke when the Koiches Agluim sein in der Matze von Ellen Wester, right? That's what they established by a person. As those when they get Bchinas Yechide in Teuro also. As the Welt is Gale Davke dann, wenn sie darf öfter in die Madriges Tachtoinos von Nefesh Ababis Bechelke Boilom. Who is doing it? Davke durch Tides, it could be done. Und mit der Pisgom von Bala Ilule, der Tzemach Tzedek as the alte Rebbe, what is this? So the Rebbe explained in a Sicha that the Friedrich Rabbi Likkutei Sichois that Tzemach Tzedek knew very well what Chassidus is. He knew that it's a limud from Elikus. It's not Shosh Nogar Saporo. Both of them is you get cleaved with the Eibishter, but it's a union of Ruchnisdike Torah and everything. What did he ask? He asked him what is the union of Chassidus, not what is Chassidus. So the Alter Rebbe answered them, the union of Chassidus is Leshano is Tivius to change your teva, your nature of your midas, the bad midas to change it. So I see that the idea of what is Chassidus came down to do, to help to overcome the bad midas. Und das ist die Nekude mit Teves von Mainz mit der Rosse, aber das von Bala Ilule, Meiler Avoid is Zman HaGolus. Now we see the connection between of the Teves and Parshas Shmois. In beide tut sich auf die Galus von Bchinas Yechide in both of them. In the in of Golus and in the in of Chassidus is being revealed Bchinas Yechide. Davke in dem Ort, was ist Muschlel von Gilui Oil. So we see that Golus and Chassidus are megale the Etzem. Now the Rebbe is going to go in very interesting also has to do with Shmois. In the names of the Alter Rebbe we're going to see the same thing also. Oischres. Sie du hast die Darge und Aveide von Bala Ilule ist Berumes in sein Nomen. Schneier Zalmen. Schneier ist Melosh Schnei Oir. The Rebbe brings down 43, Babole Kamono. I think it's from the Baal Shem Tov, yeah? Yeah. It says, "Yedu as the Dage von Aved von Balalu is Morobes is ein Name Shnei Yor Zalmen. Shnei Yor is Meloshten Shnei Yor two luminous. Und Zalmen is Oishios Lasman. Und beide zusammen drücken Ois dem Chibo von Shnei Yor mit Zman. We're going to get a connection between Shnei Yor and Zman. Der Biur in dem. Shnei Yor meint wieder bei der Baal Shem Tov hat gesagt, wegen dem alten Reben, als wird beleuchten die Welt mit den zwei Lichtigkeiten. Die Licht von Teuras an Nigle und Licht von Teuras an Nister. Was ist das? We have the idea of Tanje, Poisek Shulchan Aruch Harav, Poisek Nigle der Teure, und Tanje, Poisek Pnimis der Teure. Und der Oiftum von Shnei Oir is in einem Wort. Now we have something, we have taken 2 euros. But there's the idea that it's in one word. What is the idea of this? Is dass beim alten Rebbe ist gewähnt die schlemmisdicke Chibu von Nigle und Nister, bis es eine geworden, Lachodim Amish. Der alte Rebbe innovated that Nigle and Nister is one thing. It made them into one. Was der Koyach auf dem ist gekommen, der Fall, was der Amshich und Magale gewähnt, dem Etzem, Ma'us HaTeuro, Yechidesh Beteuro. We said before, that Chassidus is Yechidesh Beteuro, as we have Yechidesh, we have a Yechide everybody, Teuro also is a Yechide. So to Yechide, he revealed the Ma'us HaTeuro. Was die Sache von alle Gedoren von Elem Vigilui, und der Pfarrer hat sich bekoyach zum Chaber sein, die beide Eures von Nigle und Nister der Teuro. If I go and I learn Teuro as she's lemato, so I have Shosh Nogach Saporo, and I have as learn about Atziles or about Euren Sof, about Ak and all these things, right? Because I go up to the level of higher than the revealed Teuro, then Nigle der Teuro and Chassidus is the same thing. Und das hat Mamshach given Lizman. Now what's the connection between Shnei and Zman? Etwas Mamshach given Lizman, was ist verbunden mit Oilom. As we know, that the Rebbe created the world, they would created 2 things together, right? When there is man, there's mokem. There's mokem, there is man. So this was the Alt Rebbe brought it down. He brought it down this man, was it verbunden mit Oilom. Euch loschen Elem. Zman shows on Oilom. Oilom hat der Rebbe gegeben an Namen the world, Oilom because of Elem. Das heißt, euch in der niedrigen Welt so leichten Schnee Oil. As we said before, darf kein in der niedrigen Welt, darf kein lemato Eure should be shining. Der Chibo von beide Euros. Und demol darf gekommen der Gilu von Prinas Yechidische Beteuro, wie gerät früher. Als der Gilu Prinas Yechide ist darf gebe Madrege Achit Achtoino, as in Goles, in a Madrege Achit Achtoino, there is being revealed the highest level of the person Yechido. In a Nord, was ist nicht kein Keile zu Giluim. Oistes, wie gerät vielmol, ist der Tachlis der Kavone, also ich den Jodim שלמיילו מהשתלשלות von Koiches Odom sollen kommen begolui und in Apnimi ist euch in Koiches von Menschen, nicht nur in Eilem die Käufen wie in Zman Agolus. The whole idea of them is that it should come down, revealed in our Koiches Pnimim into how to serve the Eibishter. Vom Chotsch ist dort der Ameile in der Arbeit in Zman Agolus. Was demol wird mit Teurer und es gale Prinnes die Chidische Benefesh. So it's the advantage of the Golus is the Chobar der Tachlis von Golus, not Golus. Die Geule, was kommt noch dem? Und durch die Golus, through the Golus we get to Geule. Das heißt, dass der Gili Prinnes Yechide von Zman Golus soll mehr sein, euch in die Koiches Pnimim von Menschen, als euch die sollen sein, durchgedrungen von Etzem HaNefesh. It should come down also in the revealed Koiches, in everything should be, not only doing Megale Etzem HaNefesh, Mesiris Nefesh, it should be in a way of serving the Eibishter with Teuro Mitzvahs. Ich stimme aber der Chefscher, als das ist der Oifte von Bala Ilule in Teures Chassidus Chabad. This is what the Alter Rebbe innovated. Als Etzem Pnimi ist HaTeuro, was ist Echa von Ishtalshelus und Tam Vedas, was kann lechoire genommen werden bloß bei Kabbalah und Emunah. Der Alter Rebbe took the Torah, that it's such a high level that you could take it only by Kabbalah or in Emunah in belief, soll euch das herabkommen bei Nigle und bei Azoge in Chabad Shebenefesh Shodom. Es besteht, was Chassidus did, in relation, as Rebbe mentioned this, the Gilu Yechidische Benefesh, Gilu Yechidische Beteuro, is darf kein Teures nach Chassidus. And the Alter Rebbe started that to being revealing, bei Azoge should come down in Chabad Shebenefesh Shodom. Und durch dem, so the idea is not that it should be it should come down in Chabad Sheben Nefesh Odom and have an effect on you. Durch dem Poel sein euch auf seine Mides, soll Server mit Ave ve. Und das ist der Ruhm in dem die Stalkos ist gewesen Moses Shabbos Kodesh early in all of the Parshas Vayero. Now the Rebbe is going to connect the idea of, as we said before, that Golus is not a thing for itself. Golus is for the Geule, and through Golus we come to the Geule. The Rebbe says, we see that the Stalkos was the Moses Shabbos Kodesh. After all, when was the Stalkos? All of the Parshas Vayero. Aber Vayero steht nicht bei Gilui. It doesn't say that Tzemach Tzedek didn't mention it. He mentioned only Shmois. Was demol dort sich schön ongoing und reden wegen dem Gilui von Anea Vaye, Pchinas Atzmus Ein Sof. Coming to tell you that you have to bring down the level in Golus. You have to bring down the level of Atzmus Ein Sof in our Avodah. Because it says, Voiro Rashi says, Voiro El Avram Litzvah Bekel Shadai Shmi Hashem Lenedatele. And though in Voiro is already Ani Hashem. What's Ani Hashem? Atmosphäre so. Was ist bis demot nicht gekommen der Giloi. As Rashi brings down, Loi Nikarti Lo Midas Amitis Pili. And here in Voiro it's starting already. So we have the idea of Shmois and Voiro. Und Voiro allein ist doch von Loschen Re'ie. Voiro is Re'ie in Elokut. So from Shmois we get to Voiro, Vegilui. Re'ie is Gilui, das heißt, dass die Prine Madrege, was ist der von Stahlschluss, ist der Rob gekommen in der Re'ie, Vegilui, all the things that it's Eier vom Stahlschluss, Truchsin ist in Trugolus, is being revealed, der erste Mal in Shome, Sicha zu Maimar, Shabbos Parshas Shmois, Tov Shin, Chof Tzvor.